If you dive into the water, you expect it to be wet. If you were to dive into the water and find it to be bone dry, you'd call that an unexpected discovery. You wouldn't really know what to do about that information, which is a little like how experts feel about the discoveries you're about to see in this video. Archaeologists from the Borshivsky Local History Museum made an intriguing discovery in Vertiba Cave, located in the Ternopil province of Ukraine in May 2023. This cave, encompassing around 5 miles of passageways, served as a sanctuary for the Kuchiteni Tripilia culture. The culture emerged during the Neolithic Chalcolithic period of 5,500 to 2,750 BCE in Eastern Europe, spanning from the Carpathian Mountains to the Dniester and Dnieper regions. It extended across present-day Moldova, western Ukraine, and northeastern Romania. One intriguing aspect of this culture is the regular dismantling or burning of settlements, with each dwelling site having a lifespan of approximately 60 to 80 years. Scholars debate the reasons behind these burnings, as some settlements were reconstructed multiple times on pre-existing levels. Although little is known about the religious practices of the Kuchiteni Tripilia culture, the excavation in Vertiba Cave has shed some light. Archaeologists uncovered a large clay storage jar containing an unidentified white organic material. Adjacent to the jar, a small niche in the cave wall revealed a ritual hoard consisting of 5 clay figurines, often referred to as goddesses. That's just a name though. We know so little about this culture that we have no idea what the figurines are supposed to represent. A momentous archaeological discovery has taken place in southeastern Mexico, an extraordinary sculpture of the revered Mayan deity K'awil. The sculpture was found along the path of the expansive and ongoing Maya train project. K'awil, often associated with lightning, serpents, fertility, and maize, holds great significance in Mayan mythology. Depicted with a distinctive zoomorphic head featuring large eyes, an upturned snout, and a serpent foot symbolizing a lightning bolt, this deity has previously been documented in Maya reliefs and codices found in Mexico, including the Dresden Codex. However, prior to this April 2023 discovery, only 3 statues of K'awil have been unearthed, all in the ancient Guatemalan city of Tikal. The Maya Train Project has not only provided an opportunity for transportation development, but has also become a fruitful endeavor for archaeologists. Along the route, researchers have made several remarkable discoveries, including over 896,000 pottery pieces, 491 human bones, and nearly 49,000 structures or foundations, all of which contribute to the extensive historical record of the area. As a symbol, though, this stunning sculpture discovery underscores the significance of the Maya Train Project, as it unearths the deep-rooted cultural heritage and showcases the fascinating world of the ancient Maya civilization. A recent study conducted by researchers from the University of Cordoba has uncovered fascinating insights about the cave of Nerja in Spain. The study, published in Scientific Reports, reveals that Nerja is Europe's most frequented cave during prehistory, with the highest number of confirmed and recurrent visits. Contrary to previous beliefs, the research shows that humans have been present in the cave for approximately 41,000 years, 10,000 years earlier than previously thought. The team used advanced techniques, such as smoke archaeology, to analyze remnants of torches, fires, and smoke found in the cave. The study documented 35,000 years of visits occurring in 73 different phases, indicating that human groups entered the cave approximately every 35 years. Through the analysis of stalagmites, coals, and fossilized soot, researchers gained insights into the rituals and ways of life of prehistoric humans. Visit the caves today, and you'll find the flickering light from torches illuminating the cave's Paleolithic art, giving the paintings a sense of movement and warmth. This research sheds new light on the long and significant history of human presence in the cave of Nurja, and underscores its importance as a site for understanding prehistoric cultures and rituals. You don't have to look very far to find an interesting ancient tomb in Greece, but some draw more fascination than others. When this one was discovered close to the ancient city of Amphipolis in 2014, it was considered such a big deal that Prime Minister Antonis Samaras turned up to see it in person. It's not hard to see why it attracted so much attention. This is the largest tomb ever to be found in the country, and is an especially elaborate burial chamber with marble walls and intricate frescoes on the walls. Archaeologists and historians don't yet know who it was built for, or even who made it. In terms of age, though, it belonged to the time of Alexander the Great, some 2,300 years ago. Its design suggests it was probably made by someone who belonged to the elite of Macedonian society, rather than neighboring Greece. Lavish burials were frowned upon in the Greek city-states of the era, but the Macedonians had no such reservations. It's odd that the name of the tomb's occupant isn't etched into the walls, but perhaps we're looking in the wrong place. New archaeological discoveries from Peru are always exciting, but sometimes they can also be a little grisly. In April 2023, Peruvian archaeologists confirmed that they'd unearthed a remarkably well-preserved mummy, believed to be over 1,000 years old. Found in an underground tomb on the outskirts of Lima, the mummy was wrapped in a funerary bundle along with ceramics, rope, and even bits of skin and hair. The young adolescent, who lived between 1,100 and 1,200 years ago, was found in a good state of conservation, said archaeologist Yomira Huaman, who heads the Cajamarquilla research project affiliated with the Universidad Nacional Mayor de San Marco. The Cajamarquilla complex, where the mummy was found, was once home to a thriving pre-Inca culture that flourished along Peru's central coast and in the Andes. In addition to this remarkable discovery, the site has yielded a wealth of other artifacts, including the remains of 8 children and 12 adults, who were apparently sacrificed around 8,000 to 1,200 years ago. Unfortunately, it's likely that this newly discovered adolescent was also sacrificed. The sprawling complex also features the ruins of 4 pyramids and other structures, including what appears to be a maze. Our next discovery takes us to Sweden, where the wrecks of 2 14th century seafaring vessels known as cogs were discovered in Varberg in the spring of 2022. The cogs were found in land that was earmarked for an archaeological survey ahead of the planned construction of a railway tunnel. The land is dry now, but during the medieval era, this was the shoreline of a town called Gedekar. Cogs from this era are rare discoveries, and finding 2 of them so close to each other is unprecedented. To make the discovery even better, the larger of the 2 cogs is the best preserved example of its kind ever to be found in Sweden. Almost the entire port side of the ship still exists, measuring 67 feet long and 16 feet wide. There's less left of the smaller cog, with only a section of hull measuring 26 feet by 15 feet surviving. Analysis of timber samples indicates that the larger vessel was built in 1346 and the smaller one in 1357. The wood comes from France and Poland, so these weren't local ships. It's not yet clear what caused either of them to sink, or whether the sinkings occurred at the same time. Imagine stumbling upon a hidden treasure while simply cleaning your parents' house. That's exactly what recently happened to Gret Margit Sorum in southern Norway. As she went about her cleaning duties, she made an astonishing discovery: 32 iron ingots dating back to the Viking Age or the early Middle Ages. These precious artifacts had apparently been lying there since the 1980s, unbeknownst to anyone who'd lived in the house since then. The iron ingots hold great historical significance, shedding light on the iron production in the Valdres region during the Viking era. Iron played a crucial role in weapon making and boat construction during that time. What makes this find even more intriguing is that the iron bars are uniform in shape and size, suggesting they may have been used as a form of currency. Their arrangement in a bundle with holes further supports this theory. The iron ingots were ultimately delivered to the Cultural History Museum in Oslo, ensuring their preservation and accessibility for future research. It's amazing to think that a simple cleaning task could uncover such a valuable piece of history, reminding us that archaeological treasures can be found when we least expect them. A group of curious teenagers having fun at Lake Waccamaw near Wilmington, North Carolina, USA, stumbled upon an incredible discovery in April 2023, a nearly 1,000-year-old Native American dugout canoe. The ancient canoe, understood to be almost exactly 930 years old, has immediately been accepted as a cherished part of the cultural heritage of the Waccamaw Sioux tribe. The tribe, together with the North Carolina Office of State Archaeology, worked diligently to retrieve the canoe from the lake bed, where it was found underneath a private dock. In Native American traditions, canoes held great significance and were the primary mode of transportation for many tribes throughout the Pacific Northwest. The 28-foot-long canoe would have been used to transport many a brave, and it serves as a symbol of the many centuries of Native American history in the region. Following its retrieval, the canoe was prayed over by descendants of the tribe and placed in a protective container before being transported to a lab in Greenville. Experts hope that a scientific study of the canoe will help to shed light on the history of Native American culture in the area. Asuka in Japan is the next stop on our journey to see these huge megalithic stone structures, which have stood in place for centuries. The most impressive of all of them is Sakafune Ishi, which is covered in complicated tracks and engravings. Also worthy of note is Masuda Iwafune, also known as the Rock Ship of Masuda, which is 36 feet long and nearly 17 feet high, and seems to have been carved out of a lump of pure granite. The granite is so thick that even modern technology would struggle to scratch the surface, so how was it carved and shaped 2,500 years ago? Locals believe it was the work of the gods, and are so wary of them that they won't even touch them. Even more mysterious is the Ishi no Hoden, which is attached to a boulder around 100 miles from the rest of the structures. Weighing around 600 tons and standing 25 feet high, it looks like it was abandoned before it was finished, but it's been precisely cut down on one side to give it its strange appearance. Whoever built it moved 500 tons of rock and carved it into shape without leaving a trace of a chisel or pickaxe on the surface. Could it have been the work of an ancient, advanced civilization? The tale of our next discovery takes us to Italy, where archaeologists near Rome have recently uncovered a fascinating ancient winery that sheds new light on the luxurious lifestyle of the Roman aristocracy. While gladiator duels were popular entertainment for the masses in the Colosseum, the elite of society took trips to this lavish facility to celebrate winemaking. The facility included a purpose-built marble-lined area for treading grapes and fountains of wine, which symbolized the importance of wine and agriculture to the nobility's wealth and power. The villa was most likely built by the Quintili brothers, consuls of Rome in 151 CE, before being executed by Emperor Commodus. Emperor Gordian III, who became the sole emperor in 238 CE, later owned and expanded the winery. The level of decoration and comfort here was comparable to the palaces where the emperor lived. Guests could watch each stage of the winemaking process through wide entrances and enjoy the spectacle of men treading grapes with their bare feet. The theatrical nature of the process is underlined by the fountains of wine and the marble motifs that decorated the dining rooms, which were used to entertain guests, possibly even emperors. About 2,700 years ago, someone started carving a gigantic statue of Dionysus, the Greek god of wine, in a quarry on the Greek island of Naxos. They never got around to finishing their work, so the colossal unfinished statue is still there in the quarry. It's now known as the Koros of Apollonius, and it's been a tourist attraction despite its unfinished state. Perhaps it isn't surprising that the work was never finished. It was an extremely ambitious project. The sculpture, made from marble, is 35 feet long and weighs 88 tons. Even if the unknown artisan or artisans responsible for the work had been able to finish it, it's far from clear that they'd ever have been able to move it, or even lift it upright. Until the 1930s, it was thought that this was actually a statue of Apollo. But then archaeologists took a closer look and realized that the figure had a beard, which made Dionysus a better bet. Even now, after so many centuries of exposure to the elements, the scrapes, holes, and abrasions made by the chisels and hammers of the ancient artists are still visible around the deity's head. A rare embroidered diocesan depicting Jesus Christ was unearthed by archaeologists from the Institute of Archaeology of the Russian Academy of Sciences in a medieval burial ground in March 2023. The discovery was made during the construction of the Moscow-Kazan high-speed highway, where a medieval settlement and a Christian cemetery were found. A total of 46 graves were excavated, one of which contained the remains of a woman aged between 16 and 25 years, buried with an embroidered diocese depicting Jesus Christ and John the Baptist. A diocese is the name given to a traditional iconic representation of Christ in Byzantine and Orthodox art. The embroidered fabric was likely once a headdress made of dark silk samite and measures 4.7 inches by 2.1 inches, with two parts connected by a woven gold ribbon with a braided pattern. The highest level of craftsmanship, jewelry subtlety, and elegance went into making this miniature embroidery. The central figure of the fabric depicts a frontal image of Jesus Christ in a blessing gesture, while on the right is John the Baptist in a prayerful pose facing him.
Subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and enjoy watching new videos on my channel. Thanks for watching and see you soon!